Tide.
This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Theo, I can hear you breathing.
That's not good.
I can hear you.
You don't think they want to hear that?
They do. You just worked out. You know. They want to know. They want to know you're alive after your exercise. I want to know you're alive.
Alive and well.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. We are alive and well. It's the Joe Gaither Show. Hope you're doing well. It's a Wednesday. It's a huge Wednesday. It used to be so much bigger, but it is a big Wednesday. It's the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, ready to have a little fun with you today on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, on the BamaCentral Facebook page, right here on Apple Podcast, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral. I'm here with my man Theo Fernandez. You can find Theo at Theo Fernandez _ on the Twitter machine, writing all things Alabama athletics for BamaCentral.com, particularly Alabama baseball. You can find all his baseball coverage right there at BamaCentral.com. We're going to have a lot of fun today in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. Call Derek for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. And, of course, the program is brought to you by Purple Turtle Roofing. If you need if you've got some problems with your roof, or you got a trouble spot, you just need some peace of mind, let Purple Turtle Roofing help you out. Check them out online today at roofturtle.com. They'll come and give you a free roof inspection, let you know what's going on with your roof, and give you the peace of mind that you deserve. So check them out online today at roofturtle.com. All right, we're going to have a lot of fun today. We've got what's on the plans today, Theo? Theo, today used to be so much bigger, way before you were an adult. This used to be the college football Christmas, but they changed it to December, and today is National Signing Day. We're going to talk about the Alabama class of 2026 just a little bit. We'll talk about Matt Miller's mock draft. He has a 2-round mock draft. Draft is in April, and so looking forward to that. We'll see how your Giants and my Bears get better, and we'll hopefully see a lot of these Alabama players take off and get their NFL career started. We'll have Alabama players drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All 11, 12 eligible players are going to get drafted and make lots of money. So we'll talk about Matt Miller's NFL draft, mock draft that he put out on ESPN the other day, and then we will finish with basketball. Yes, we cannot ignore basketball despite what happened on Sunday. Alabama basketball back in Coleman Coliseum at 6 o'clock tonight, taking on Bucky McMillan. Bucky Ball, how many Mountain Brook fans will be in the building, and will they be cheering for Alabama or Texas A&M? Will they be cheering for their old high school coach, or will they be cheering for the University of Alabama? We'll talk about all that and more. It's going to be a great day. Theo, how we doing, sir? Good morning.
I'm doing very good, Joe. Good morning. And, you know, I wouldn't have even known it was National Signing Day if I didn't, if we hadn't talked about it earlier in the week, right? Like, this was just something that was such a huge deal growing up. Like, as a kid, like, you'd hear so much about signing day and you'd follow where all these guys were going. And February lost all its aura, man. I mean, that's the only way to put it. Like, it was you'd see the coolest videos of guys committing. And obviously it was so much cooler for me as a kid, but you'd see like, oh, I'm going to pick up a hat. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to, there's so many cool ways of committing. It was so fun, man. But got to get the kids on campus, right? Early. Got to do it in December. So less cool, but still something to talk about here, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're going to see guys signed today for Alabama. There are a handful of hard commits. You're looking at Maurice Mathis Jr. You're looking at Amari Saab. We can talk about Amari Saab. Amari Saab committed yesterday, younger brother of Keon Saab. We can talk about Aubrey Walker. Those three guys are expected to put pen to paper today. 3 wide receivers. Kind of making up the loss of Owen Cabell and Brian Williams Jr., losing them to Vanderbilt and Auburn during the early signing period window. But those were expected losses, so it's not really that big, not really a huge deal. I mean, you have Cedarian Morgan as the crown jewel of the wide receiver room. And of course, you do want Owen Campbell and you do want Brian Williams Jr., but those two guys flip to other SEC schools, other opportunities. We wish them well, but you got to pivot a little bit and still fill out your wide receiver room, and that's exactly what Alabama has done. Really, post season, post actual season, after losing to Indiana in the Rose Bowl, they pivoted and hit the recruiting trail and got commitments from these three wide receivers. So filled out the wide receiver room, and those three guys are expected to actually sign today. But yeah, this used to be the huge holiday. I mean, the last, I'll ask you, who was the last real big signing day signing? Billy Five Stars choosing between Alabama, Texas, Auburn, Ohio State, Clemson, all that. Who's the last big signing you remember, like, sitting up there watching? Oh, I'm waiting for Billy Five Star. Who's he going to go to? Is he going to go to my favorite school? Because I've got two. I can give you my two. It will give you some time to think.
Yeah, you go and give me a second to think about
Okay, that's fine. I remember watching Tyson Campbell and watching Pat Surtain commit. Tyson Campbell and Pat Surtain both went to American Heritage High School in down in Florida, and both of them were 5-star prospects, cornerbacks, right? And you ended up having both of them sign on signing day. I can remember being in class at UA, thinking, okay, well, what's going to happen with these guys? This is the class of 2018. This is class 2018, so I am an old man in class at UA. I'm a non-traditional student. We'll say that in 2018, and I can remember pulling it up and you got Pat Surtain. Yes, 5-star. Oh, we got him. We got Pat Surtain. Great, that's going to be great. But can Alabama get both of the 5-star corner teammates? Can they get them both? Yes. Come on, let's get Tyson Campbell. He's choosing between Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Miami, all these pretty highly named schools. And Tyson Campbell ultimately ended up picking Georgia. And so it's cool to see both the teammates, both the 5-stars, and then kind of what both of their careers have been. Tyson Campbell playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and obviously all the Alabama fans following Pat Surtain faithfully. He was in the Pro Bowl shenanigans last night for the Denver Broncos. He's been amazing for the Denver Broncos. He was amazing when he came to campus. He is one of my favorite players of all time. So that's the last thing. That's the last real signing day decision that I remember, Theo, in signing day 2018. So I guess that would have been spring of 17, correct? Because that would have been spring of 17. Their class of 18. They joined fall of 18. Yeah. No, spring of 18. Yeah, spring of 18. Excuse me. My clock's a little messed up this morning. Spring of 18 was the last one for me. Do any come to mind, or are you too young? It's okay if you take the I'm too young track, but yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily, growing up pretty impartial to college football, as just kind of a fan of the sport without a particular team. I don't really have any that really stuck with me team-wise, but I just remember, first of all, I remember how cool I just thought it was, all the, back when it was still fresh, when kids would, pull out a hat or do some kind of cool gimmick. I remember Solomon Thomas pulling out an actual tree when he committed to Stanford. And that was just, man, that's one that has always just stuck with me, that image of him just sitting there with the tree next to him. Yeah, and obviously that was like peak.
Solomon Thomas was probably 13, 14, 20, in that range.
Yeah, one of those for sure. Because I was still young enough to be very much a kid at that time.
They were drafted. He was drafted in the 2017 draft, I believe.
So probably 14 then, right? If he was 3 years, probably.
Because he and Mitchell Trubisky were in the same draft.
Yes, they were. But it was all so cool, man. I remember I'd be watching ESPN, as soon as I got home that day from school. And
all day.
Yeah, I was a bit too young to have like a device in school to watch it, but I'd come home and throw it on and watch all the commitments. And It really was such a cool time.
You'd see Tom Luganbill talking about the different classes, this, that, and the other, and everybody was so excited for college football on the first Wednesday in February. But
Getting nostalgic now.
yeah, we're still excited about college football, but the day has certainly changed because we're sitting here talking about three-star receivers who Alabama basically used as filler. I mean, we'll see what these three wide receivers bring to the Crimson Tide. But we can be honest with ourselves and say that Maurice Mathis Jr., Amari Sabb, and Aubrey Walker are basically filler. Hey, we need a body. We want to give a guy an opportunity. We do see some potential in these guys. I mean, when I was writing the Amari Sabb write-up yesterday after he committed, his numbers are incredibly impressive. His height and weight are not very impressive at all, 5'9", 155, but apparently the man's got over 5,000 all-purpose yards in New Jersey and over 60 career touchdowns in New Jersey. He had what did I write yesterday? He had almost 1,000 yards receiving and like 800 yards rushing this past year as a senior for Glassboro High School. And so that part is impressive, but these are not your prototypical 5-stars. Oh, my guy, it's Cedarian Morgan looks like Julio Jones. None of these guys look like Julio Jones. Maurice Mathis Jr., 6'1", 180. Amari Sabb, 5'9", 155. Aubrey Walker, 5'10", 170. I think they're all pretty speedy. I think they're all pretty fast. But as far as prototypical sizes, not bringing that to the table. So it's interesting. Like today's excitement is essentially just roster depth, adding roster depth on National Signing Day.
I looked it up while you were talking, and no 5-stars remained on the market, which didn't surprise anyone. And you can count the amount of 4-stars on your two hands. Like, it is. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but there are so few out there. I mean, there's one quarterback that's choosing. I think people think he's going to choose Notre Dame.
Who is it? What's his name?
I had the name a second ago.
Billy 4-star.
You got Denzel Berriman is the top overall recruit defensive lineman, choosing between Nebraska and Kentucky, which will be exhilarating.
Yes.
There's not a lot here.
Go be blue. We'll see. Well, all right. Let's look at the class as a whole because it is National Signing Day, and we can use this as an opportunity to circle back. And I'm going to be writing about this for BamaCentral.com today. Have about a 1 o'clock kind of overview on the class. You got 3 5-stars according to 24/7 Sports. Really, you've got 5 stars if you look at On3 Sports and you look at kind of the composite with Jet Tamala. Like, this is crazy, actually. They do not list Jet Tamala, Jaira Edwards, or Cedarian Morgan as a 5-star prospect.
Edwards is not a 5-star on there.
According to 24/7 Sports, right. And that's nuts to me. Let's click on his little page here and see if you've got the other yeah, that just says that. That just says 4-star. If you look at on three, I'm sure because I'm sure he's rated as a 5-star. You get because obviously like everybody's got different opinions. But I think you have.
Edwards is a 5-star, 26th in the nation on On3, number 2 safety.
Yeah, 37th in the nation on 24/7 Sports, number 2 safety as well. So it's just kind of a semantics argument right there. I think Alabama really, really scored in multiple ways in this recruiting class. I think you've got 6 5-stars, honestly, and maybe a 7th if you think about Zion Gibson. But I think you got 6 legitimate 5-stars in Jaira Edwards, Cedarian Morgan, Jet Tamala. Obviously, everyone agrees that Jordan Edmonds, E.J. Crowell, and Xavier Griffin are 5-stars. So there's no gray area there. But I think if you look at this class, you can see college football on display. You can see modern college football on display in this sense, Theo, that you have a couple of really headliner guys. You've got these 6 and really 7 players, Zion Gibson as well. You've got some headline guys, but then you have really creative, really, I don't know if creative is the right word, but really good depth, really value depth. That's probably what I want to say. Really, really value depth, because you look at the offensive lineman, you look at the defensive lineman, and I like Corey Howard's a perfect example. Defensive lineman out of Valdosta, Georgia. Have you seen his photos from early enrolling already? He looks like one of the biggest defensive linemen out there. He's listed at 6'6", 245, but he looks like one of the biggest defensive linemen in the group. Jamie Mosley putting up a picture with the guys before he takes off to Stanford, and good luck to you, Jamie. Great guy and great coach, honestly. Great young coach. So he puts up a photo of all the defensive linemen, and Corey Howard's one of the biggest ones. And I think a guy like that, 3-star prospect that Georgia was in on, but Alabama moves in on a little harder. I think Rael Kelly is a great example of this. You look at a safety who is a little bit underweight, but really, really great length. And you say, wow, you've got great speed. You're playing up there in Wintonwood, Cincinnati. You're playing at a big program. I think Justin Hill, teammate with Justin Hill when he was there. You see the 3 stars and people, wow, a lot of 3 stars. Who are these guys? And I think you see a lot of, ooh, that guy was under recruited. Ooh, that guy was under scouted. I really like Zay Hall as well.
Oh, yeah.
You think about Taden Kawa, quarterback. I mean, look, we all love Jet Tamala. He's been on the show a couple times now. But if you didn't have him and you just had to go with Taden Kawa at quarterback, 3-star quarterback. But I think Taden Kawa, I mean, you're out in Utah playing in a high division in Utah. I think he's got the nice prototypical size for a quarterback at 6'5", 235, big old arm. Like, you have the headliner guys, 6 or 7 5-star players, and then you have all the 3 stars that are underneath, and you're like, wow, Alabama 3-star you. But I see potential, and maybe it's just crimson-colored glasses, but I see potential in all of these 3-star prospects. I think that Alabama, if you look at this class, Theo, it looks like modern college football. So think about it from a monetary standpoint. You've probably committed a pretty decent chunk of financial resources to the top 7 players. You probably didn't commit as much financial resources to all these 3 stars. Now, obviously, there is, but right. But it's we talked about it after during the transfer portal window. Alabama playing money ball. I think this class shows you exactly what we were getting at, where the top line guys were probably having a nice financial commitment to, and the mid tier and the bottom end of the class probably not as much of a financial commitment to. But there's probably a pathway. Hey man, you stay, you develop. You're a senior Zay Hall. You're a redshirt junior Zay Hall. You're probably in line for a starting position and in line for a nice financial commitment that season.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, Zay Hall is a little partial too, with having spoken to him, having talked to him 100%. So much over high school. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy, and I'm going to give the specifics on him, and you can apply. Like, everyone has their own situation. Zay Hall came from a tiny school. He got hurt his junior year, right as he was getting traction. Virginia Tech made a massive push for him late. Think about what other schools would have done the same.
North Carolina did as well.
Yes. Like, you look at all these guys, like, everyone has their own story of why they fell at the 3-star rating, right? Like, Javen James, the tackle that Alabama just got from Mississippi State. There's a guy who was a 3-star and had to go play in the MAC to start out, right? Everyone has a different level of, where they're starting from. A guy I really like is Bear Fretwell. 6'7", 290 pounds tackle. Like, this is just a guy, also a guy that Alabama stole from Brett Key, right? He was committed to Georgia Tech, and trust me, if he thinks highly of a lineman, I feel good about that guy. Like,
100%.
There are just so many names on this group of how many, 20 actual that are enrolled, and then 4 more that are coming? 3?
Yeah, I see 20 enrollees. I see 3 others who have signed letters of intent. Probably some are enrollees, and then 3 other commits. So you're 26
total. Like, and there are a lot of names I really like in this class.
Yeah, and so there's not much more to get into on National Signing Day, because these guys have all been in the class for quite some time. But I just think that you see actually, like, the trend of where college football is going. Obviously, you've got to keep them all, transfer portal, this and that, and not all 26 players will be here in 3 years. I mean,
If
you're
we're
probably
lucky, half of them will be, right?
right. You're probably at 13, 10, 12, 13. But if you can keep these top 6 or 7, I think that you're doing pretty well for yourself. I think that you've got real star potential in Jordan Edmonds. I think you've got real star potential in Jair Edwards. I think you have. I mean, everybody's excited about Xavier Griffin and EJ Crowell as well. And so I'm excited about this class. I think Alabama did very, very well.
Yeah, I forget who it was that evaluated and talked about like superlatives for the class, but Jair Edwards was voted the most college ready defensive back, I believe, in the class, or maybe it was just safety. But
yeah, Tom Luganville put up all three of his selections were Alabama players. What was it? Most college ready was Jair Edwards.
Sedarian Morgan.
Most NFL like upside was Zion Gibson. I think Sedarian Morgan was the other one, but he had three superlatives. And so I'm excited about this class, and so we will write about it today for Alabama. I'm basically going to try to write that same concept that Alabama did well with the headline players, but also filled in the gaps with a lot of potential strong developmental candidates. I mean, I think that you have really, really strong. Look. I don't want to say it's a scam on 3 Sports and 24/7 and Rivals are a scam as far as recruiting rankings. That's not the right word, but it's some like you a little bit have to play the game. Theo Fernandez, you got to go to the camps and you got to play the game to become a 5-star. Theo Fernandez might be a 5-star podcaster who never goes to podcast camp and doesn't get rated that way, but the audience knows, hey man, every time I listen to Theo, it's strong takes, it's fun times, it's a high energy, and that's a 5-star that's just under recruited and undervalued.
Absolutely, and a guy like Zay Hall was not going to these camps growing up.
Exactly.
There, you can play that game with so many of these people. I'm excited to see how they develop. I'm excited to get a look at the guys who are already here in spring practice, and going to be a very fun class to follow.
There we go. Spring practice right around the corner. You have Alabama football coming, I think at 2:21. Is that what I wrote yesterday? Let me scroll down. Maybe it was 2:13. It is 2:13. Yeah, I wrote 2:13. 213 days until Alabama kicks off against Eastern Carolina. All right, Theo, you want to transition from the incoming players to the outgoing players? How smooth was that, right?
Now you're rolling.
There we go. So
we're hitting a new level.
On Monday, Matt Miller, who is ESPN's draft analyst. I know everybody thinks that it's Mel Kiper Jr., and Mel Kiper is the face, but Matt Miller is the new engine for ESPN. I think this is his 2nd year now with them. But he's the new engine behind ESPN's draft analysis. Mel Kiper Jr. is still going to be pounding the table for Shadir Sanders this coming up in NFL draft. And we'll see who his favorite prospects are this coming spring. But really, it's Matt Miller who puts in all the work now for ESPN. And Mel does put in work, but it's different, a little different. Let's go into this mock draft because there's some very interesting things that I see here. The first thing is you're not getting an Alabama player for quite some time. We're all the way through pick 10, Mansour Delane, Cincinnati Bengals, Jermon McCoy. Okay, we're keeping rolling.
Do you want me to give it?
No, we're setting up how far you got to go because it may be a boring Thursday night for Alabama football fans. They're sitting there at 17. They're going to watch Keldrick Falk of Auburn go and wonder why is an Auburn player going way before any Alabama player. You're going to get to 20 and you're thinking they took Tyler Booker last year. Will they take another Alabama player? No, they won't. He keeps going. Zion Young, 25 to the Bears. We love it. That's a great mock draft selection for us, Matt Miller. But yeah, you have a very boring Thursday night ahead of you. If you're an Alabama football fan, you've got to get to 34. The first, really the second pick in the second pick in the second round. Jeremy Bernard is your first Alabama player off the board. How crazy is that?
That's absurd. I mean, it was 2008, I believe, was the last draft Alabama didn't have someone selected in the first round.
Nuts.
Like, that's just crazy to think about. Now, I first of all will say I disagree. I do not believe that Alabama will go the entirety of Thursday without having a player. Especially, I mean, we can play it with There are three reasons for it.
Somebody's going to draft
Somebody's
Caden.
going to go. Somebody, first of all, is going to trade in the first round to take the next best QB available, which will be Ty Simpson, right? You can go out. There's the talk about, oh, did anyone give him a first round grade? It doesn't matter. You know that teams trade up to 26, 28 to take that QB before someone gets him in the beginning of round 2. Second of all, I do believe that Jeremy Bernard, looking at the end of this first round, I think that one of these teams is going to take him. I think, it could even be like San Francisco sitting near the end of the first round, right? You're moving on from Ayuk. You could probably use another receiver. Like Jeremy Bernard feels like an obvious plug-in guy to me on a contending football team.
Yes, very safe player.
Why take one of these? I feel like a lot of these other receivers, like a Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame, who's mocked at 32, right? Feels like a higher risk. I struggle to see a world where Jeremy Bernard is not a productive wide receiver right away, right?
He's walking into an NFL team. If 10 is a Pro Bowler, superstar, all pro, he's walking into an NFL team at a 7, at a 6.5.
Yeah. Like he is just, he is pro ready without a doubt. And then, so this mock draft has Bernard at 34, Proctor at 35.
You're just going spoiling. That's okay. Keep going.
I'm gonna hold off on time.
Roll through.
All right, and those are. Do you want me to just give them?
Yeah,
all?
you're already on a roll.
All right, we're on a roll. We've got Ty at 44 to the New York Jets, and then we've got Overton one pick after at 45 to the Ravens. So,
do you think that Matt Miller was like, "Oh crap, I haven't put an Alabama player in here"? And then he goes 34-35. He goes 34-35, and then hits you at what did you say, 44-45. Right. So Alabama ends up with 4 players in the second round.
In the top half of the second round at that. Yeah, someone's going in the first round.
But what does this say? Oh, committed to Oklahoma. Okay, somebody committed to Oklahoma. Great. What does this say about Alabama's talent this year?
As what, the draft class?
Yes. Like, you got to an SEC title game. You got your doors blown off, but you got to an SEC title game. You were a playoff team. You won a playoff game. You became the first program to win a playoff road game, overcoming a 17-point deficit. You got your doors blown off in the Rose Bowl, but you ended the season fairly, like, the encapsulation of the season was, wow, pretty good. And then contrast that with, no first round picks.
Yeah, that's pretty profound, I'd say. One of my favorite hypothetical conversations we had over the summer was, who will be taken first in the NFL draft, Caleb Downs or Caden Proctor? We turned it into a very long conversation while we were bored.
Laughable.
July. And the heart of our argument, what we ended up concluding was that even if Proctor is a down year, even if he struggles at times for Alabama, the potential will still be so profoundly high that there's no way he doesn't go higher than Downs. And Caleb Downs is projected to go at 7 in this mock draft, which we kind of assumed, fringe top 10. And like, Caden Proctor's a guy who underperformed vastly compared to what was expected of him. Also, let me say, I'm sorry, but there's no way the Tennessee Titans are going and taking another Alabama tackle.
This write-up is absurd.
Yeah,
Did you read it? He at 35, Matt Miller puts Caden Proctor right there to the Tennessee Titans. And his write-up is, the Titans have one supersized offensive tackle from Alabama in J.C. Latham. So let's give him another. What? Proctor's tape at the end of the season was much better than at the beginning, and he has immense potential as a starting left tackle. I'm sorry, I like you, Matt Miller. I do like Matt Miller, but I think that may be the laziest paragraph of my life that I've ever read.
Yeah, and it's hard. I think, and I've talked to some Titan fans about Latham.
Oh, Mason's not a fan.
Yeah, the last thing they want is another one of these guys. Like, there are already people in
Mason
Tennessee
wants Jeremy
who are ready to write off J.C. Latham, and obviously that won't happen yet. When you take a top 10 pick on a guy and he's only played 2 years, but it's been very, very underwhelming so far.
Yeah. So his write up, just to go back to it for Jeremy at 34. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s first 2 seasons haven't quite gone to plan for the Cardinals. Don't have much of a receiver behind him and Michael Wilson. Excuse me. Bernard has elite ability to make plays after the catch and is a dynamic player who is capable of lining up all over the alignment, including in the backfield, in the slot, and at the X receiver. I think that was a much better paragraph.
This can't be much worse, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty fair assessment when you're putting it in broad terms, I'd say, of Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah, I think that will Caden sneak into the first round? I mean, pick one of these four. Who's sneaking into the first round? If Alabama's going to keep their first round draft pick status alive, who's going to do it? Is it Ty because of quarterback value, positional value? It's not LT Overton.
It's not.
The defensive end, defensive tackle, edge rusher class is deep as it is deep. It is Mississippi River deep.
Yeah, I thought Overton is the one guy who was actually kind of high compared. Like, I could see him falling out around two, if we're being honest. So I want to say Ty for those reasons outlined, but there have been those outlier years where the QB market just doesn't, materialize, right? And in a class that people do consider to be weak, like, it's rare, but it happens. Well, was it 2022, the Malik Willis class, where it was just, man, what is happening here? 2013, I think it was EJ Manuel was the only guy taken in the first round. Like, it happens once in a while. I think Bernard would be my lock on someone who is going to be selected in round one with Ty a close second, because I do think it will happen. Proctor seems to me like Proctor's a hard one to judge because you can see a team taking like, you know what, the guy we wanted went off the board. We're picking in the late teens, early 20s. Yeah, this guy has potential. We'll give him a shot, Proctor's a guy to me who I could see rising and being a surprise pick earlier than people expect. The potential gets people sometimes.
So Caden at 35, you roll on down, you have the Jets at 44 picking Ty Simpson, his blurb on Ty Simpson. Simpson doesn't have a round one grade on my board, and I couldn't find a single team that would give him one during conversations at the Senior Bowl. But with 4 picks in the first 2 rounds, the Jets can afford to roll the dice on him as a second rounder with starter upside. Simpson's lack of size and arm strength could ultimately push him down the board, but his poise and processing skills are NFL level. No disagreements there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that statement. I do, unfortunately, have a growing suspicion that it will be the New York Jets taking Ty Simpson.
Jets.
It just depends
Jets.
which of the picks they take him at. I'd say the most likely is probably you're picking at 33 and then 44, and you probably trade a combination of those picks or maybe a third rounder to move up into the late first round to take him, is what I believe will happen. Man, I'm gonna let
Joe Namath,
I'm gonna
Richard
let
Todd, Greg McElroy,
my New Yorker's gonna come out here.
Ty Simpson.
Ty Simpson cannot succeed with the New York Jets.
Why not?
It will not work out.
Well, it's, I mean,
nobody can succeed with the New York Jets. Okay. First of all,
so it's not just Ty Simpson.
Like, you just know that I do not see it working in any way, man, on that cursed franchise. And you already have those, the back thing, which has been concerning to some people, and which I don't know how much of a long-term concern it is, but whatever freak injury would happen again if he ends up in.
So it's more your position is more about the Jets than it is Ty Simpson.
It's more about the curse of the New York Jets, and you got to avoid that franchise like the plague, man, as a quarterback.
Somebody's got to go there. They can't play Justin Fields forever. Strawberry Fields forever. Justin Fields forever.
As someone who I would like to see Ty Simpson succeed in the NFL. Any team but the Jets.
Jets.
Any other team, and he is a shot to be a solid NFL quarterback.
I agree with his poise and processing skills are NFL level. I don't know. Obviously, you can work on arm strength. You're fine.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Is the arm strength a legitimate weakness? Like, just
a little bit.
Like,
A little bit.
We've seen him make some big throws, and
The velocity is what I
Yeah.
what is not elite velocity. Like he can push the ball down the field,
Yes.
but can he zip it into a window? That's a question.
Mhm.
All right, and so you keep going. One more. As we said, at 45, the Baltimore Ravens selecting LT Overton. His blurb: Overton is a tweener edge rusher at 6'5", 278, but his upside as a pass rusher make him an intriguing prospect in a 30 front. The Ravens have to get younger and stronger on the edge of the defense. He might get picked this early because of the fact that so many edge rushers and so many defensive tackles and defensive linemen are going to get taken in the first 45 in the first 45 picks. The defensive front for this draft class is absolutely loaded, is so deep. So I think you're going to see a lot of defensive linemen, a lot of edge rushers, a lot of outside linebackers be selected early. And because of that, if the Ravens are sitting there at 45 being like, well, we need an edge rusher, well, we need a defensive end, he might be like one of the last top end guys left.
Which also could hurt him because every team that needs the edge rusher has already gotten who they want, right?
Yeah.
You know, either side of that coin could end up being correct, but I don't know. Overton's one where, as a prospect, I don't feel strongly about him as an NFL player, particularly.
He gives me no tingles. He doesn't give me any sort of feeling about, ooh, I'm excited to have LT Overton on my team.
Like, I don't know. Upside are we drafting him off of upside? That's what Matt Miller seems to be implying. I don't know if I see it. I don't.
Yeah, I'm with you right there. So those four guys, all second round picks, no first round picks, would break a streak going all the way back to 2008. Do you know who it was in 2009 who broke the streak?
That's a trivia question I don't have the answer to.
Andre Smith.
Andre Smith, 2009.
And I believe Kareem Jackson as well. Maybe Kareem was in 2010. But Andre Smith was drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals, I believe. Top 10 pick from Coach Saban's really second year.
Team.
Yeah, his second year. But ends up with the Bengals. There you go. All right, Theo. So let's move on. We're going to wrap this bad boy up. We got one more topic. We have to talk about basketball. But before we do that, we need to remind you the program is brought to you by Purple Turtle Roofing. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. Visit roofturtle.com to learn more and find out how they can take care of you. We had Brax Garrison join us yesterday. He talked about how busy he's been in the month of January. You need to get him out to your property right now to make sure that your roof is in good shape for the spring storm season ahead. So check them out online at roofturtle.com or call them at 877-PT-ROOF-5 today for your free roof inspection. Purple Turtle Roofing, roofing with heart, built to last. All right, Theo Fernandez. Usually we start these shows with the actual action on the floor or on the court, but today was a little differently because of the holiday. At 6 o'clock tonight, Alabama is back in action against the SEC leaders, Texas A&M. And no, Texas A&M not ranked still, which is crazy to me.
Crazy.
That is absolutely just bonkers to me. But at 6 o'clock, you welcome the SEC leading Texas A&M Aggies into Tuscaloosa for an unranked matchup. And I think it's loaded with storylines. Rylan Griffin comes back to town. I bet you forgot about that. You didn't, but the proverbial you may have forgot about Rylan Griffin is a starter, is a key contributor for the Aggies. And then, of course, the Bucky McMillan storyline, how just impactful he has been, how innovative he has been, coming from Mountain Brook, winning multiple state championships for the Mountain Brook Spartans. Mountain Brook Spartans, I believe they are. And then going from Mountain Brook to Sanford, right? Sanford to Texas A&M, and has basically been bringing buckyball everywhere he goes. They're 7-1 in the league, and so they are really, really on fire right now. Alabama, after getting drilled on Sunday, has to bounce back. I have very little confidence that Alabama can bounce back. I don't feel good about going to Coleman Coliseum tonight, but I will be there for BamaCentral.com. We'll have Hunter DeCiver and Katie Wyndham join me. Alabama has fallen to number 21 in KenPom. Texas A&M 27 in KenPom. Texas A&M 38th in offensive efficiency, 33rd in defensive efficiency. Alabama 3rd in offensive efficiency, so much better than 38, and 66th in defensive efficiency. So that's what's on tap tonight. Do I have a line on this game? Yeah, Alabama is a 7.5-point favorite, according to the people who build big mansions and big skyscrapers in Las Vegas. And Lord Kenny Pomeroy has Alabama winning 91-85. I don't know if I feel good about either of those. So Kenny Pomeroy is telling you to take Texas A&M plus the 7.5, but Alabama to win on the money line. What do you think, Theo? Can this team bounce back at home? Can this team handle the press? I mean, they're going to press the ever-loving mess out of you tonight. Full court press. When's the last time you saw full court press in basketball?
It's going to be awesome at this level. It's funny, Nate Oates talked yesterday about, he said he tried it one year when he was coaching high school. Didn't work, didn't like it, and it's just never gone back to it. And he admitted, yeah, like Bucky got it figured out better than I ever did. And buckyball is so fun to watch, first of all, man. That Samford team in 2024 that made the NCAA tournament, and let me remind you, got robbed of what would have been a win over Kansas with one of the worst calls you'll ever see.
We can't let little old Sanford onto the next round.
Yeah, no, he can't mess up our Kansas Gonzaga round of 32 matchup. No one wants that to not happen. But anyway, that's besides the point. He's done such a good job at this school. A&M not being ranked is a travesty.
Yeah, at this point,
you've got a blowout loss in your first real game of the year to Oklahoma State.
Sure.
On the road. Oklahoma State's not a good team. Outside of that, you lose to a UCF team that has beaten now Texas Tech and forget the other. And a second really, really big upset. UCF is borderline ranked as well. They're going to be a top 8 seed in the tournament.
Pittsburgh, is that who you're talking about? They beat Pittsburgh. They beat Kansas.
Kansas, yeah. Kansas. I mean, they are a very good team.
They beat Kansas State as well.
Make the tournament. SMU in overtime. SMU is going to make the tournament for the first time in forever. It feels like looking to win their first tournament game in 40 years. SMU is a good team. You lose in overtime to Tennessee. That's it. Those are your only 4 losses. How is this team not in the top 25? I don't get it.
You don't have like amazing wins. Your best. What is their best win? Is it Auburn? Is it Auburn? Is it Georgia?
On the road at Georgia, convincingly, is a good win.
I mean, they got a lot of good wins, but like, which Auburn one would you put on a banner and wave in front of the nation?
No, you don't necessarily have that win, which is a fair critique, but it's like you went on the road, Pittsburgh, Florida State, dominated FSU, beat Pittsburgh. Like, those are quality.
Those are good wins. They're good
borderline
wins, for sure.
Q1 wins for this team. I don't know. That's besides the point. A&M will be in the top 25 after they dog walk Alabama tonight. That is my prediction for the game.
Yeah, they're 3-3 in quad 1 games. They're 2-1 in quad 2, 5-0 quad 3, and undefeated 7-0 in quad 4 games.
Oklahoma State is the only quad 2 loss you've had, and yes, that was bad. That was a bad loss. Oklahoma State is an NIT team. That's early in the season. That is your 3rd game of the year and first against a Power 5 opponent. So yeah, that's besides the point. But I do believe that Alabama will not be able to handle buckyball and will lose by more than 10 points.
Quick trivia: Alabama's played 9 quad 1 games this year. What's the record?
4-5.
Not too bad. They're 3-6.
3-6.
3-6. So you're right there. You're right there on it.
Too optimistic.
Yeah, that's all right. Alabama tonight to quad 2 game for Alabama because they are the home team.
Yeah.
Quad 1 for A&M. Alabama is, what did I just see? 6-1 in quad 2 games, losing to Texas.
So what's I thought it was top 35 net was at home was a quad 1. Is that not the case?
I think it's top 25.
Maybe it's top 25.
I think it's top 25. And then it's top 50 in a neutral, right? Or top 75 in a neutral or something like that.
Top 75 on the road, I think.
Yeah.
Regardless, this will be a Q1 game by the end of the year. A&M, I think, will continue doing what they've been doing.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Quad 1 is a home game 1-30, neutral 1-50, and away is 1-75.
So A&M is outside of the top 30 right now.
Yeah, they're at 35.
Wow. Huh.
And Alabama's at 22. Nice. Not good. Not
crazy.
good. I don't feel good about it tonight. I don't feel good about the team handling the press. I don't feel good about the team's psyche. The press conference yesterday, which you can see on BamaCentral.com, and you can read all about on BamaCentral.com, on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, and read on BamaCentral.com. The press conference gave me no real feelings of, oh, they're settled this. They're back at it. No, it was still a lot of Coach Oats's, well, we gotta see. Well, we gotta find some leadership. Well, we gotta find guys who care. We gotta see if guys who care. They didn't come here to play 500 basketball. And as much as I really like Coach Oates, and I really do, I wonder, Coach, hey, you have a part to play here in the leadership factor. You have a part to play here in the, motivation factor. You may be, I do think he is really, really good at the math and really, really good at the analytics and really, really good at finding the margins. But I don't really know right now how good he is at motivating a team day in and day out, night in and night out. At least for this season, right? You've got, Sunday's performance gave me no confidence going forward with this team because Florida just took a right-hand haymaker in the first half, and Alabama never got off the mat to continue fighting. And so I can see a world where Texas A&M presses the mess out of you and goes on an 8-0 run, goes on an 8-0 run to take a 6-point lead, and then just holds that 6-point lead for a lot of the game because you can't dig yourself out of the hole. Because I don't know about the competitive character on this team.
I don't either. And I loved your question to Oates yesterday just about the leadership of the team. And I also thought one of the better things he said was, he was very, very critical of LeBaron Philon. He's regressed on the defensive end. That was the heart of the statement that Nate Oates made. It was basically just talking about, Philon has not done what he needs to do as a leader on that end of the court, and we're waiting for guys to step up. And it's a lot of stuff that we have speculated about here, Joe, and that was kind of confirmed. Like, the leadership is not where it needs to be right now.
Well, he's playing like, I'm the best player, but I'm not engaged in leading the team. To me, like 21 points per in SEC play, 21 points, like 5 and change on the assist, and like three or 4 rebounds a game. Like he is playing better offensively, but I don't feel like he's asserting himself. I don't feel like he's asserting himself on either end of the floor. Like the offense, the numbers look good. And he said, he's scoring at a good rate, scoring well. The numbers are good, but he doesn't seem like, hey, give me the damn basketball. I'm going to lead this offensive set. Or I'm going to run this offensive set. We're going to pick and roll downhill, and somebody's going to get a kick out. They're wide open, or we're going to lob, or we're going to get it. There just doesn't seem like he's playing with a level of assertiveness that you need from you're the best player on the team. You're the team leader. You're the best player in the SEC even. I think he's playing like he's still enjoyable to watch for sure. And the talent is still very evident. And so like, that's what's a little bit frustrating to me is because I think LeBaron is playing like, if I score 20, it's great. If I score, I'll score when it comes to me. He's letting the game come to him on the offensive end instead of taking it. And then on the defensive end, I think he's just kind of been out there.
And I've been more frustrated with Philon's offensive play than anything, mostly just because the defense is, you don't expect
lackluster,
right? The offense is where you expect special play. Philon, he's averaging 21 a game, right? He's putting up the numbers. They're not impressive. They're not impressive as they should be. You look at moments like the Texas game where he forced up that 3 late. That's the perfect example of you do not look like an all-world offensive player. You do not look like a guy that me as an NBA executive would want to take with the intention of having you as a key piece of my franchise right now. You look at one of the biggest problems of this team, and I wrote about Alabama's three-point shooting struggles last night and was watching just a ton of film on it and trying to draw a conclusion about things. And I listened to what Nato said. And Alabama has a real problem with finding open shooters and taking advantages of 2-on-1s. And Philon's the guy who's leading those most of the time. Philon, his court vision almost feels like it's regressed. I think that last year when he was not the main offensive focus of this team, he had a much better ability to just find the shooters when he needed to. And I think he's juggling the responsibility of leading an offense at times, and I think he's still learning, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it is concerning at times. And yes, I mean, I believe he's top 5 in the conference in assists. Like, to
me, he looks like an NBA 6-man off the bench.
Yeah, that's not a bad take, right? And role in
he
the
looks
NBA,
like I want to insert him because I need some scoring to get the main guy off the floor.
A role in the NBA similar to what he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. That's a nice career. I would not be building an offense around him by any stretch of the imagination, especially at the NBA level. And we see LeBaron Philon a lot of times bail defenses out by attempting a three-pointer. It is concerning because he's a good three-point shooter. That is not why he is leading this Alabama team. If you want someone to shoot a three, you give it to Holloway, you give it to Reitzel, and Philon needs to be more particular about when he decides to pull up, because so many times you have defenders in a great position. You have the matchup you want. You have the ability to go downhill attack, which is only exemplified by the addition of Bediako, right? By the lob threat that he provides. And there have been some nice moments with those alley-oops. LeBaron Philon does not take advantage of the opportunities he has on the basketball court nearly enough. You get downhill, you drive, you try to kick it out when it's the right move, but so many times I just believe that Philon could get to the hole and get 2 points or get to the free throw line, and he doesn't take advantage of that enough. It's frustrating to watch. And I know we've gone on a tangent from where we started on the defensive end and the leadership, but my evaluation of LeBaron Philon as an NBA player and a prospect has definitely decreased over the course of this season.
Because I don't think he's playing with intentionality.
No, that's exactly the point right there.
So tonight, Alabama takes on Texas A&M. There will be Rylan Griffin back in the building. What will the reception be for Rylan? Big boos, cheers, or mixed?
I don't know. Like, he doesn't feel like a guy that should get booed, in my opinion.
I agree.
And I don't say that often about players because generally, it's about, this guy left the program. You boo him. I just think it won't be a Nick Pringle type reception, I think it is pretty neutral. You don't give him any kind of ovation. You don't cheer for him at any point, but he doesn't need to be booed. It's 2024 feels like so long ago.
10 years.
Yeah. But he was such a key piece, man. He was such a fan favorite. He with his belts, and
I would love to have him on this team.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would have loved to have had him the last 2 seasons.
I would have as well,
All right. I am feeling like it's not going to go well for Alabama tonight, and maybe that's just me and my feels, and I'll accept that. You can let us know in the comments. You can call us on the voicemail line. Remember, at 205-462-7340, extension 800, if you want to leave us a message after the game, reacting to the game. I think I'm going to settle on 93-87 Texas A&M and Bucky McMillan to walk out of Coleman Coliseum feeling like a king.
He will feel like a king with a win here. And first of all, I want to say this is going to be the third straight game I've picked against Alabama. Would love to be able to pick the Crimson Tide in one of these matchups. Not from a fan perspective, but from the perspective of this should be a very good basketball team. This should be a team that is being favored to win in these SEC matchups. Just not right now. What a story for Bucky McMillan. Even without a win in this game, it is so cool. It is such an awesome thing that this Mountain Brook High School 5 years ago. And now you are coming in to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And I believe his Texas A&M Aggies will win. I was close on the Florida prediction a few days ago, and I'm going to kind of keep it pretty similar to that. I'll go 94-81 A&M.
Double-digit victory for the visitors, and I think that could send the season spiraling.
Nato said it was a tipping point, right?
It obviously
exactly
is.
what he is, and this is the potential of being sub 500 in SEC play at this stage in the year. You think the season's been a letdown? I mean, that'll spell disaster for this program, and Alabama will officially appear in the bubble watch, right, with a loss. I mean, when's the last time Alabama's been firmly on the bubble for the NCAA tournament?
They're not quite there yet.
They are getting real close, Joe.
They're not quite there yet.
Alabama.
Alabama. Joe Lenardi has Alabama. Where is it? Right there. Still on the 5 line.
Are you
Still on the 5 line. When was the last update? 2/3/26. So yesterday morning.
I would have this team on the 7 line right now. I mean, I think this discourse will continue to shift.
Sure. I mean, you got 10 games left. So, like, if you go 0-10, you're going to go out. You go 5-5. Who knows what happens? Are you falling to a 10 seed? Who knows?
And we talk about tipping point. We've been so negative. Like, this can still turn around pretty rapidly. Alabama can win against A&M and Auburn and be back in the top 25 like nothing happened.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We're beating our chest on Monday if Alabama goes 2-0 this week.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you're back in the top 25, and the schedule after this, it would be Ole Miss, South Carolina,
Win.
Arkansas that's the tough game.
Win.
LSU, Mississippi State.
Win.
First of all, if Alabama goes anything less than 4-1 in that stretch, cancel the season.
Yeah.
End the season right then and there. But like it gets easier after this week, which is also why I wouldn't quite say tipping point yet, because even in the nightmare scenario where you go 0-2, you still have this very favorable stretch over the next 2 weeks to right the ship. But yeah, we've got to see something here.
So we will try to see it tonight at 6 o'clock in Coleman Coliseum. Make sure you follow us at Hunter DeCiver, at Katie Wyndham _, and at Joe Gaither 6. We'll have you covered for all the action in Coleman Coliseum. For us, that's going to do it. Unless you got anything else, Theo.
Nah, I'm got everything out of my system.
There we go. We will talk to you tomorrow. We invite you to leave us comments on the Facebook, on Twitter, on the YouTube. Call us on the voicemail machine at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Check out Purple Turtle Roofing at roofturtle.com. We want to make sure that you guys have the peace of mind that you deserve. Put a nice shell on your home. So check them out at roofturtle.com. And call Derek Daniel for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. We will talk to you in the morning. This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com.